Alright, today let's talk about a little thing called dyslexia. Dyslexia. I, myself right here, am very much so dyslexic. And I don't mean that in like the term that most people say, oh, I'm so dyslexic today, I got my letters wrong. No, I'm legit dyslexic. Tested, got papers, did special classes for it, got dyslexia. Alright? I got dyslexia. This is what happens. I got it. You know, it's whatever. There's multiple types of dyslexia. There's quite a few types of dyslexia. Multiple types. It's the same thing. Anyways, the type of dyslexia that most people think about when they hear, there's a Lamborghini. When people hear about dyslexia is phonical dyslexia. Phonical dyslexia, that's the one that most people probably say they have when they say, oh, I'm so dyslexic. Phonical dyslexia is the confusion of your letters or words or numbers. So your B's, your P's, your Q's, your R's, your S's, your K's, your G's, things like that. That people with phonical dyslexia have a hard time telling the difference between what word or what letter is what letter, between B and D, or F and R, or K, G or Q, things like that. I have what's called mixed dyslexia. Mixed dyslexia is phonical dyslexia and then another type of dyslexia. Like I said, there's more than one type of dyslexia. And I did not find out I was dyslexic until I was in the third grade. I was in the third grade when I found out I was dyslexic, and my mama took me to go get tested at this place. We had to drive all the way from our house to, we had to drive like an hour down the road to this place down the road, and she got me tested. I was in the third grade, and they said, hey, your son is dyslexic. And then they started asking other questions, and apparently the type of dyslexia that I have also affects my balance. This is something that my mother had no idea about when I was younger. I didn't really walk until I was like 18 or 19 months old. So I was definitely delayed in walking due to the dyslexia. It affected my balance. I remember I was like 9 years old before I finally stopped falling down all the time. Like I used to just like, I'd be walking and I'd just fall over. Like I couldn't keep my balance to save my life. It was hard for me. I remember one time my mama took us to Carowinds, and like we had to drive like a long way to get there. And my mom took me and my sister to Carowinds, and I just kept falling over. Like I couldn't not fall over. I just fell over all the time. I couldn't help it. It was the dyslexia that was tripping me up, not my shoelaces. Anyways, I'd have like terrible like patches on my palms. I'd just fall over all the time. There were two of us that I know of when I was in school that had the mixed dyslexia. Now mine affected my balance, like I've already said, and the other person who was in high school with me, or really all the way through school with me, their dyslexia affected the difference between right and left. Like they would wear, I want to say they wore a rubber band, maybe a thick one. It was definitely one that was probably pretty tight to kind of tell you, your right from your left. And I want to say they always wore it on their left hand. But I could be wrong. But I do remember it was a bracelet or a rubber band or a watch, but it was fairly tight. That way, you could always tell the difference, or this person could always tell the difference as to how it felt on their wrist. They'd say, oh, well, this is my right hand because it doesn't have the rubber band on it. This is my left hand because it does have the rubber band. And I don't remember how old they were when they got tested, but I remember we both had to get like retested, like I guess recertified dyslexic in the 6th grade. We were in the 6th grade we were in the same grades all the way through, but in the 6th grade we both had to get like recertified or rechecked or whatever. So we did it together. So me and this person were a lot of times isolated together with each other, doing our testings or doing our fundamentals that we needed to do to learn how to read and write, like all the other kids I remember, man, I had a terrible time. I don't know if they did or not. I had a terrible time learning to read. Man, I could not learn to read to save my life. Like, it affected me bad. Reading did, but writing did as well. I still, to this day, I write in all caps. If you are getting a handwritten letter from me, it's in all caps, because I can't do the lowercase letters and you understand what I'm saying. Now, if I'm writing one to myself, if I'm writing myself a quick note about charting on a patient or something like that, then I may do it in lowercase letters. But if I'm writing a letter to someone, a handwritten note to someone, that booger's going to be in all caps, because you're just not going to understand what I'm saying in lowercase letters. On the computer or on the phone, it's a little bit easier because of T9 or whatever you want to call it, the little thing that kind of fixes your words for you, word check, T9, whatever it is. Anyways, it's easier with that. But if I'm handwriting it, that thing's all caps, because it's so much easier. And my teachers in school, they understood that, so they let me write in all caps. But learning to read was really hard. Learning to write was really hard. Things like that. It was just hard for me in school. But I got through it. I went to community college. I graduated with a degree in nursing. So it is possible to get through. I mean, it took me a little while. So, any questions, let me know. Hope it helps. Thank you much.